My name is Manuela. I'm from Berlin. I am married and have 2 children and had a part-time job. I was running and training for my triathlon this time in December last year. Running diligently, that means about 100 kilometers a week. I have actively participated in triathlons. So I was healthy all round, super sporty, 4 times a week in the gym. Sport was my life. There was no other way to say it. And then I got vaccinated with Biontech much later than everyone else, and then I was through with the second vaccination at the end of November. At the beginning of December, I noticed that I couldn't breathe anymore during the race and didn't get much further than 5 kilometers. That's little for me, and I was insanely exhausted. Whenever I walked up a flight of stairs, I would have shortness of breath, had to sit down, and felt my heart start beating. Then I went to my family doctor, and he immediately had a chest CT done because he suspected a pulmonary embolism, because I said it was hard for me to breathe. But everything was fine there. He said I should take it easy. It was probably a bit much stress at the moment. He asked me if I should be on sick leave. I said no, I don't need it. And 2 weeks later, I had a sudden hearing loss. Then I panicked right away and went from doctor to doctor, and then also had a skull MRI. That was also without finding. So I went to another family doctor. I described the subject to him. He did a full blood count, and it was perfect, and he also told me to see if I couldn't relax a bit. I didn't recover from this sudden hearing loss for the whole summer. I had headaches and body aches every day. I was totally exhausted. I never got out of bed at all. We had a really bad time as a family because although I was now on sick leave, I couldn't even take care of the housework. So something like emptying the dishwasher was a daily activity for me. I could no longer drive the children to their activities, no longer cook food. So it was really bad. I found that one doctor just pushes me to the next. You are healthy. You have top values. You have a great heart. Nothing came out. I had an MRI done of the heart. It's all okay. In the meantime, I was desperate, and then I went to the Berlin doctor, Dr. Freisleben, who deals with vaccination side effects. He created a T helper cell status for the first time, and then it came out that various values are not in order. And he has often seen these values not in order. He thinks that it is a vaccination damage. And now I've been diagnosed with acquired mitochondrial disease. I also have pericardial effusions on my heart. I have water in my lungs. I broke my thyroid. I always thought Hashimoto. I always found it funny when people said that because it's such a funny word. I guess I've got that myself by now. Then I have these autoantibodies. This means that the cells in my body are turning against me. And somehow I can't believe it because I've always been able to rely on my body. I thought he would easily take a vaccination like that. But it obviously messed up a lot in my body, especially my immune cells, because my immune status is probably really bad now. The current situation is that the doctors cannot tell me whether all this damage can be repaired. I now hear a lot less in the left ear than in the right. My eyesight has totally decreased. And the worst thing is that I don't know if I'll ever be able to properly train my heart again. I used to swim in the lake for hours, and now I can't even imagine going into the lake or the water to swim at all. And above all, that at some point I'll be able to rely on my heart again, that something like this will endure. There are thousands of sufferers. I mean, what's easier than contacting and exchanging over the internet these days? It's just that a lot of people have the same symptoms. The doctors have to recognize that. A lot is also due to the microcirculation, which is simply disturbed. As a result, this damage to vision or these disorders of the heart, it's so important that we finally get help at some point. I really, really hope that Inusfilter will help me here. 5 months after the apheresis, I can say that I am almost completely rid of my headaches, And also the pressure on my heart, this feeling that it's so hard to breathe and that you're always leading your heart, that's really gone. What has remained is this fatigue, this chronic exhaustion that I have, which also limits me in everyday life. That's a bit of a shame, but I am very, very grateful that I no longer have this pain. I would now also like to do an Inusfilter again and see if that might help me again.